Hey, look. So I thought I'd do another bipolar diary number 5, and this one is going to be on having bipolar and dealing with that in a work situation, I guess, or professional environment, or how to, just from my own personal perspective, how I've dealt with that in the past, how it's transpired and panned out for me personally, and yeah, just talk about that for a bit basically. So as you'd expect, and there's probably going to be no surprises to anybody with any kind of mental illness watching this. My experience has been extremely mixed. Um, so, in terms of like interview, in terms of jobs, when you actually get into a job, and like declaring and how people deal with it and how not deal with it. Okay, so uh, I'll talk about a few good experiences I've had, mentioning no names or companies, of course. So most of the really good experience I've had where people are actually relatively understanding, offer you a bit of flexibility in terms of, um, you know, having flexibility with the role, is in the third sector, or the charity sector that I've worked in a fair bit, or the public sector maybe to a degree, but they usually have a lot better knowledge in place of how to deal with it, and that obviously offer flexibility so that when you are not so good, you can have a little bit of time off or just a bit of time just to get your head together again. Private sector can be alright, probably. It depends. I think it just depends on the role you're doing, really. How much stress is involved in the role, how good a relationship you have with your line manager, and what kind of person that line manager is. Obviously, in the private sector, generalization, but you can get a lot more fucking arsey, kind of just like self-important people in it. I've only really had one really bad line manager when I was kind of technically working in the third sector, but kind of like they were really more of a corporate environment, really. And I don't want to mention the name, but she wasn't great. And if anything, she piled more pressure on randomly enough when I started getting a bit down. And, well, things started slipping a bit, and she kind of piled even more pressure on, and then tried in a weird kind of way to entrap me. So like I ended up just getting fired actually. And then someone else I was working with very closely was quite surprised I actually got fired. So that wasn't good. Frankly, that's happened very few times. I've kind of, sometimes I find it a struggle to. I get quite with work in general. I need to keep stay stimulated. Otherwise, I just get bored very rapidly. So that's important for me in terms of this is getting into my life too much now. I want to try. I don't know. I think as bipolar people as well, actually, just on that point, we need, because we've got quite busy minds. I think it helps to have stimulation, as in like interesting jobs which are going to creatively have some kind of. There's going to be some kind of, it's not just going to be very extremely boring and repetitive tasks. Though needs must sometimes, obviously. Anyone else, any other human being on the planet will know. But yeah, in a way, we can actually use our kind of highly creative, often minds to, in a productive and way, if we can find the right role. I've still not got that perfected. I've worked on a lot of design roles, a lot of development roles. Ideally, I'd just like to stay in my studio, paint, make things, but we don't live in a perfect utopia where you can do that all day yet. Maybe when they get like robots invented to just do all the boring shit that no one really wants to do, really, but they pretend that they have to. Then they can just get on with doing whatever all the time, cultivating our own culture and ourselves more and all that shit. But anyway, that's just a daydream. Fucking hell, my hair has gone really basic, massive since last time. Being superficial and narcissistic there. But yeah. So that's just a few thoughts. I could go into a lot more detail, but really it's quite hard to without getting very specific and kind of potentially shooting myself in the foot for future jobs if anyone, future employers watch this. And by the way, if you are, I'm actually pretty good at what I do. I just have occasional moods. It doesn't really affect anything, so please don't judge me based on a label which you've seen, you might have some preconceived idea of, based on some shit you saw in some Hollywood film or whatever. A human being have the same foibles and challenges that most human beings have, just sometimes they're a bit more intense for me. So yeah, I'm not going into it anymore because, like I said, I have to get really specific with examples, and I don't really want to do that because, like I said, like I just explained a minute ago. But yeah, I think creative jobs are good for. Yeah, let's not end note. I do think creative jobs are very good for bipolar people, just because they can naturally use their creativity that they often possess as part of the illness. And I mean creativity in the broader sense. I don't just mean they paint or they kind of like wear a beret or whatever. Like me, I don't own a beret, but more that they it's generally a correlation